further ado, let's go ahead and look at this, right?
Hi, I'm Linny Cook Saverline, and I'm a producer on WoW Classic. Back at BlizzCon, we had the absolute pleasure of finally sharing Season of Discovery with you all, and we've loved watching all of the new challenges you've overcome, the meta you've created, and the adventures you've all had in Phase 1. And now we'd like to chat with you about Phase 2. Today we're going to do an overview of some of the new adventures in store for you.
Let's see what they got.
Our topics today include information about our new 10-player raid Gnomeregan, dungeon updates, rune ability updates, PvP updates, profession updates, and more.
Anyone else feel like this is like a PowerPoint? Like they explain this as if it's a PowerPoint? I do.
Which should help answer some of the questions we've gotten around our previous phase and where we're going with the new one. We're going to bop through our slides pretty fast, so you may want to pause or watch back through the recording if you want to catch everything on the slide.
Yeah, see, it's a PowerPoint.
We're also going to put the build up on the PTR soon. We're doing something similar to Phase 1, where we only make the era and hardcore content available, not the season itself. It is likely there will be some data mining, but beware, not everything you see data mined will actually be in the patch. This build will contain some experimental things, stuff for later phases, and things that maybe didn't work quite how we wanted them to.
They said they're putting it on the PTR, if I'm correct.
We're also going to put the build up on the PTR soon.
Yeah, okay.
We're doing something similar to Phase 1, where we only make the era and hardcore content about our new raid Gnomeregan. Our assistant lead designer, Tim Jones, will be walking us through it. Take it away, Tim.
Well, while Tim takes his sweet ass time, because obviously there was a long ass pause there. I'll turn off my heater because the sun is rising and it gets hot. To continue.
Hello there. Thank you, Lenny, for that introduction. I'm Tim Jones, the assistant lead game designer on World of Warcraft Classic, and it's my pleasure to talk to you more and give you a sneak peek at Gnomeregan, the second level up raid in Season of Discovery, and the raid content that you'll be participating in at level 40 in Phase 2.
Okay, let's get going with it.
Let's get into it.
Let's go.
So much like Blackfathom Deeps, Gnomeregan will be a 10-player raid. There will be 6 bosses. There were originally 5 bosses in Gnomeregan if you didn't count the Dark Iron Ambassador. So there's one more new boss that no one's ever fought before.
Just like how they did with BFD, which I am ecstatic about because BFD had one extra boss that it did not normally have. Now, don't get me wrong, people sucked at BFD for some odd reason. They couldn't get past the second to last boss, but we're not talking about that, unfortunately.
And of course, redesigns from the ground up on
one of the funnest bosses I've ever had to fight, though. Like, realistically, one of the funnest bosses I've ever sat there and actually fought. It was awesome. It was legitly an amazing raid, and World of Warcraft should pat themselves on the back.
On all of the other bosses, so brand new experience overall, a ton of new rewards and items, more epics than we had in Blackfathom Deeps with more sources,
Nice.
Different bosses than just the last 2 bosses.
3 times of epics. Okay, so I mean, let's be real though. No offense to Blizzard and their performance on giving us this. This is amazing. Once again, I'm not here to talk shit. Oops, turned the wrong camera on. Now, I'm not talking no shit. But we're going to level 40. I expected there to be much more epics, because there is more epics available to us at level 40. There's barely any epics available to us at the level 25 or under. So it would make sense that I would expect much more epics. New item sets? Now that's where they got the hands for me. The claps. They got the claps because new item sets is a phenomenal thing. 100%. Okay? Up-leveled quests and rewards. We need that. Why? Because we grinded the fuck out those 25 quests. I've done all the way up to my level 30 quests on my paladin. And there's literally no point now for me to continue going on and questing on my paladin. Because all I'm going to do is gain gold to waste gold to go raiding on BFD. Literally, it's a cycle at this point. And at this point, I'm kind of tired of running it with pugs. I need to find myself a guild or invite more people into my guild. One of the two things needs to happen. I just need to become more social.
Those new item sets for classes to pursue. The quests and rewards have been brought up to level 40. And there's a brand new profession quest chain that leads into a pretty deep opportunity for people to find materials and craft a lot of really cool and powerful items. Josh will get into that more down the line.
Cool.
But some of the play spaces have had some changes. For people who aren't familiar with the Grubbus and Chomper encounter, you might
I am, and this motherfucker was not a bad encounter. It was actually not even that annoying. Doing it on retail when I used to have to just run LFG a bunch of shit ton of times just to get, EXP for house and stuff like that. It wasn't that bad. It was never that bad. It's just this instance was way too fucking long for what it needed to be. It's to the point where I think LFG split into pieces, if I'm correct.
I noticed that there are some radiation vents that weren't here. Those will perhaps play a part in this encounter. Crowd Pummeler is now
Crowd Pummeler being in front of an audience, I think, was one of the greatest ideas. And I have to say it like Tony the Tiger, but one of the greatest ideas they have ever come up with, 100%.
in a different part of the instance. I wonder what kind of mechanic something that punches you really hard might have to do with being on a platform above a pit of death. Who knows? And there's a lot of excited onlookers ready for you to take on this robot. And Psychothermoplug, the last boss of the instance, may have added some additional mechanical suits with different properties to his arsenal, and you'll have to face off against those as well. Getting into a preview of the exciting loot, there's
So the Bonk Mastros handguards, Maestros, increases fist weapons and maces. Will fight for you until defeated. Okay. The muffler, dude. It's a fucking muffler. 16. Oh, that's not bad. Two-handed mace. That speed is, like I said, is great. Fucking amazing. 69 attack. 4 power for a cat. 22 strength. That 8 agility. That shit right there. Druids are gonna love this son of a bitch.
some nods to old items. I think the one people will notice is the automatic crowd pummeler. No
Yep.
longer will you have
Immediately.
to get individual manual crowd pummelers. You'll be able to pick up one and then use it over and over again with the cooldown. So hopefully that's a great quality of life improvement.
Yeah,
There's
because the fucking old cooldown used to be an hour long. Okay, the cooldown was like an hour or 2 hours long, bro. So when you picked up a crowd pummeler, you would try to get multiple of those so you can get that speed buff multiple times and actually run through the cooldowns individually because they were individual cooldowns. They didn't share a cooldown together. They were all individual cooldowns. So because they were all individual cooldowns, they didn't share a cooldown together. Boom. Hey, you wanted to grab multiple of. I'm really glad that they're fixing that.
also some fun items that you can pick up. The Trog Transfigurator 3000, little Orb of Deception style transforming into a Trog. Aragriar's Whimsical World Warper.
That I'm not gonna lie to you, like the transform yourself into a Trog is probably gonna be the item I want to grab the most.
Play around with it, see
So
where it takes
stupid.
you in the world. And some fun cosmetic items as well. Here's a look at our set items. You can see that some set items actually have specific set bonuses for some classes. And we also have tokens now that will drop instead of having a gigantic loot list that contains all of the set pieces and you're getting frustrated if the same set piece drops for a different class every week. We've introduced set piece tokens that can be used by everyone for a specific piece of your armor. So you can pick, if whoever loots the boot token will be able to turn that into a vendor to redeem it for their set piece boots. With Gnomeregan, there's a couple updates that we're making.
I still dislike that update because everybody's going to be rolling on the same piece instead of people rolling on individual pieces, but I do understand why they did it.
To dungeons. The first of which are the addition of quality of life skill books. These are skill books that have a chance to drop off of certain creatures in 5-man.
I promise you this is going to make our blessings longer. We're buff bots. Paladins are buff bots, and I've been saying this forever, and I'm so tired of being a buff bot. I don't want to be a buff bot no more.
Dungeons, and they add significant quality of life spells to your arsenal that don't take up a rune slot. So we're excited for people to get their hands on these, and hopefully these solve some problems that players have been facing, such as short aura durations with paladin blessings, totem control as shaman, rogues.
Didn't I tell you? I'm going to do the Aspen eyebrows. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? That's what he does sometimes. He just... eyebrows all fucking up, fucked up. You be thinking he's on some kind of shit because my brows be moving too much.
Being able to have a spell that allows them to manipulate
Love
what
Asmongold.
target
He's
their
fucking
combo
fire,
points
but
are on, as well as many, many others that
your
we're
eyebrows
excited
be
for
on
players
fleek,
to
boy.
find when they jump into Phase 2. And I'd like to pass off the presentation to Nora to talk more about rune abilities. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hey, my name's Nora Valletta, and I'm a lead software engineer on WoW Classic. The team is very excited for you to head out and find those new rune abilities coming soon in Phase 2 of Season of Discovery. I'm here to give you a sneak peek at some of those abilities, so let's dive in.
Let's see.
Paladins. Sheath of Light will cause damage dealt with your melee weapon to also increase your spell power. It'll also cause your critical heals to apply an additional heal over time on the target. Guarded by the Light will cause your melee weapon hits to restore mana over time. However, the amount healed by Flash of Light, Holy Light, and Holy Shock will be reduced by half. Hunters. Melee Specialist is a passive ability which will reduce the cooldown of Raptor Strike, cause it to trigger instantly, and each usage...
Okay, hold on. Time out. Sheath of Light is going to be what I'm definitely going to use. The gain mana is going to reduce how much I heal, but it's going to be extremely useful added to the arsenal because they are going to go on belt respectively and boots respectively. That's going to be great to help us out with mana regeneration because paladins have an issue with running out of mana in the first 4 fucking seconds of a fight. I'm over exaggerating a little bit, but like the first fucking 20% of his health, 30% of his health, we're almost out of mana if we fucking sit there and try to go hard. We have to really like stop ourselves from our rotation and literally be bored during the raid and just fucking auto attack for a fat minute because we literally can't do our whole DPS rotation without running out of mana. And I get that, that's classic, but fuck, holy crap, 1 rotation runs you out of mana? Well, it's not 1 rotation literally, but like 2 rotations, 3 rotations runs you out of mana. It's nuts.
Hunters. Melee Specialist is a passive ability which will reduce the cooldown of Raptor Strike, cause it to trigger instantly, and each usage of Raptor Strike has a chance not to trigger its cooldown.
That's OP as fuck. That is OP as hell. I don't know why hunters need something else to just make them fucking on top of the food chain again, but here we go. If anybody knows what class to make during SOD, it is a hunter. Make yourself a fucking hunter and you will be fucking fine because no matter what, Blizzard loves sucking hunter shit, man. I'm talking too much crap now. Why do hunters get a good ass rune immediately, bro? That shit is crazy, dude. And a 30% chance on each attack to trigger its not trigger its cooldown, bro. Like that's crazy.
Melee Specialist will also remove the cooldown of Mongoose Bite. Trap Launcher allows you to place traps at any location within 40
That's
yards and allows you to place your...
That's PvP. I can't see that being very useful unless you're gonna cheese some shit in PvE, but in PvP, that's gonna be extremely useful.
Traps while in combat. Additionally, your fire-based and frost-based traps have separate shared cooldowns.
Extremely.
Warriors. Rallying Cry is a defensive ability which can be activated to increase the health of all party and raid members within 40 yards. Blood Surge gives some of your abilities a chance to...
Rallying Kai is something that we've been needed. They should have added this in phase 1. This shit would have made so much. Warriors would have been amazing. Fucking tanks.
Make your next slam instant and cost no rage. Rogues. Use Shuriken Toss to throw a shuriken at your enemy, dealing damage to your target.
There it is. Rogues, you got it. You got it now, Rogues. Rogues have it. They have their AoE damage to continuously keep aggro for their tank row.
And up to 4 additional nearby targets.
Really, really cool.
Master of Subtlety causes attacks made while stealthed and for a short time after exiting stealth to cause additional damage. Priests.
That's nice.
Cast Mind
That's
Spike
really
to
nice for
blast your
PvP.
target with Shadow Frost damage and apply a debuff, which increases
Shadow Frost damage. Ooh. Priest. Y'all just got something new. That's extremely fucking useful. At the same time, it does Shadow and Frost damage. That's fucking unique.
the critical strike chance of your next Mind Blast on that target. This debuff can stack up to 3 times. And fan favorite from future expansions, Pain Suppression can be cast on a friendly target to significantly reduce their damage taken and increase their resistance to dispel mechanics for a short time.
Priest healers are going to be the best healers in the fucking world, bro.
Warlocks.
Ugh,
Invocation.
fucking hate
When you
priest
refresh
healing.
some of your damage over time effects while they have
Let me refresh that real fast. I hate priest healing in PvP. A priest and a warrior combination is one of the worst things you can run into in a PvP battleground. It's one of the worst things ever you can run into. That it literally hurts your soul when you run into something like that, bro. Like you wanna sit there and just curl up into a ball and start to cry because it's like, fuck, this sucks.
less than 6 seconds remaining, instant damage will be dealt to your target equal to 1 tick of that spell's periodic damage. So you no longer have to worry about refreshing your dots at the exact perfect moment. Dance of the Wicked will trigger a buff.
That's kind of trash. Fuck, man, they gave Warlocks the shit end stick. Classic's best fucking class. They're giving the shit end of the stick. And Hunters. Classic's best survival class. They're giving the best. They're giving a buffet to Hunters. And yet they have the audacity to give this to Warlocks. Y'all niggas should be. I would be pissed. I would be the audacity in doing this if I was a Warlock. It would hurt my soul. It would be really saddening.
Which increases you and your pet's dodge chance anytime either of you deal a critical strike to an enemy. You'll also both gain 2% of your maximum mana when that happens. Mages.
At least they're getting support for their tanking.
Missile Barrage gives your Arcane Blast, Fireball, and
Damn it. They won't ever give anybody else good stuff like Paladins. They only gave us Divine Storm, which was the greatest they could have gave us. Don't get me wrong, but they could have gave us something else cool too. I have plenty of ideas, some cool ass shit. But then they want to give mages fucking Missile Barrage, dude. Oh my god, Shia is gonna be crazy about this. This is crazy. Missile Barrage is so fucking good. Anybody making a mage, be fucking happy. You guys are going to be doing massive amounts of damage. They already reduced your healing, though. So it's not going to be, it might scale off differently because it's a rune ability. Rune abilities use way less mana. So if they get main rune abilities, like how Paladins got Divine Storm and Crusader Strike and it barely uses mana for those 2 reasons. Because of the rune abilities, but every ability that we have outside of that, like Exorcist or anything else like that, is just a fucking monstrous. Even the seals are monstrous. Fucking even the Judgment is monstrous mana use. So Missile Barrage is gonna be great.
Frostbolt spells, a
That'd be
chance to
absolutely
reduce the
phenomenal.
channeled duration of your next arcane missile spell by half, reduce its mana cost to 0, and cause missiles to fire every 0.5 seconds.
That's fucking
Chronostatic
great.
Preservation is a really cool new spell that allows you to store some of your arcane, fire, and frost energy for later use. You can only hold this energy for a short time before it combusts and expires, but you can unleash it to heal a friendly target.
That's
Shamans.
nice.
Maelstrom Weapon causes damage dealt with melee attacks to have a chance to reduce the cast time of your next lightning bolt, chain lightning, lesser healing wave.
Fuck! This is what I get for betraying Horde. This is absolutely what I get for betraying Horde right here. This is it. I'm usually a horde. I'm horde to the day I die. Okay, to the day I die. I love horde, like I do, like, but I joined the Burning Crusade when horde had access. Well, I played a little bit of classic, but I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Obviously, it was like the first time I ever touched the damn game. Who knows what they're doing the first time they touched the game? You know, I didn't even know what an add-on was, nor CC, nor dot. I didn't know anything. Okay, and when I jumped into Burning Crusade and I made my first hunter, and it was, I believe, Blood Elf Hunter I made, and I got decently way up there. I got about to the 30s or 40s, and I stopped on my hunter, and I looked at my mom's character. She was, when we were in the 20s, she was in the 40s. So I think by the time I was into the 40s, she was already in the 60s, or like close to the 60s. Level cap was 70 though, so she was in the Burning Crusade area. I remember looking at her paladin and being like, that is one of the coolest things ever. Like, I just love the look of the paladin, the mount, like the armor, the plate armor, you know, it all looks dope. And you guys are massively physical. And I wanted the hunter to be a physical hunter, even if I had a pet. It'd be real cool if I could switch between physical and range at a moment's notice. That's what I wanted to do with the hunter, but that wasn't possible back in the day in a WoW. So what I ended up going with is I remade my character. And I remember making a paladin and going all the way to 70 with that paladin and making it to 70. I didn't go into no raids or do heroics. I think the heroics were around at that time. Yeah, heroics were around at the time. I didn't do heroics or nothing like that, but I worked my ass off to get into that fucking level 70 range. And then I fell in love with paladins. So like I like the class paladin, and I love horde. I've always been a horde, and I've always been a paladin, right? So those are my two things. Season of Discovery started, and they started in classic with no hope of being a horde paladin. I need to light a cigarette for this because it's like, fuck, man, it's stressful. So like with no hope of becoming a paladin, I'm like, okay, cool. I have no hope of becoming a paladin. So I'm gonna have to drop either horde or paladin. Shamans did not look fun at that point in time. I'm not gonna lie to you. Shamans just didn't look like they interested me as much. Like, I don't get me wrong, I like shamans, I like the casting, but do I love a paladin? And then I heard we were getting Divine Storm. We were gonna get the spells Crusader Strike and Divine Storm. And at that point, when I heard that we were gonna get those two spells, is when I decided I'm dropping the horde over it before paladin. I was originally gonna drop paladin for horde, but shaman wasn't getting nothing that blew my mind just yet. Two-handed weapons specialization and a couple other things that was pretty cool, but they were niche, really niche, and weren't really helpful yet. It'd be cool to have a shaman at that point, but they won't let, like, see, I still can't level a shaman unless they make dwarf shamans a fucking thing, and they got to figure out, I guess, Tauren paladins. I don't know who else they will make paladins. Tauren paladins seem like the only likely choice, unless they're gonna add blood elves, and everybody and their mother will be remaking their character if they added blood elves. I'm not gonna have you. I'm not gonna cap to you. So they know that everybody would literally remake their character if they make blood elves. Like if they just put in blood elves to the game. So there's no point of that. That's just literally gonna have to that's gonna reset everybody and piss everybody off. So they really should just give it to one of the horde members, and then make a dwarf turn into a shaman. Because I'll make a shaman dwarf. I'll make a dwarf shaman, and I'll rock the shit out that dude.
Healing Wave, chain heal.
Especially for Maelstrom weapon. My gosh, bro. This is right here one of the best abilities that an enhancement shaman can ever use. Shit, even fucking shit, it's not enhancement. So what's the other one? It's restoration, enhancement, and the one that shoots it. You know, the one that shoots the magic. I can't remember what it is. Elemental. Got it. So, and even for Elemental, this is extremely good, especially because it does Lava Burst. So, even for Elemental, it's extremely good. You just got to go up close and hit it a couple times, and it doesn't matter. It's auto attacks. Auto attacks have a chance. So.
Or Lava Burst spell by 20%. The cast time reduction can stack up to 5 times. Spirit of the Alpha is a 30-minute buff that can be cast on a friendly target to increase the threat generated by that target. You can kind of think of it like the opposite of Blessing of Salvation. While some shamans choose to battle with one weapon in each hand, others prefer to dish out devastating blows with a two-handed weapon. If that sounds like you, then we have Two-Handed Mastery. Each time you strike an enemy with a two-handed weapon, you gain 30% attack speed with two-handed weapons for 10 seconds. Anyways, it's time for me to pass things
I
over
really
to Anna
want
Resendez,
to
who
make
will be
a
sharing with you some
shaman.
updates on our new PvP event. Take it away, Anna.
Can't wait for everyone to discover those new runes. They look amazing. Thank you, Nora. Hello, I am Anna Resendez, and I will talk to you about PvP. In this new level band, we're bringing a new PvP experience to you. You might have seen a little hint on our social media channels about this. So, our new PvP event is called the Blood Moon. The Blood Moon rises in Stranglethorn Vale, bringing with it absolute mayhem. When Ashenvale was created, we talked about how cool it would be for the event to be triggered by player activity in the area. After going through feedback and seeing how Ashenvale played, in this event, we wanted to take a different approach and make it more predictable so you know when the battle will take place. So, the Blood Moon event will happen every 3 hours, and we have a duration of 30 minutes. Believe me, you will be able to tell when the event is happening. The Blood Moon will shine its effect during this time and bring in a mysterious red fog to the area. During this time, the whole zone will become a free-for-all PvP, meaning allies and enemies alike will be viable targets for your blood rage.
Ooh,
Everyone that is in the
no one better play with me. I'm gonna drag people into Stranglethorn on accident. On purpose. On accident. And the Blood Moon is gonna be there, and we're going to fight. We're going to murder each other. We're going to devastate the battlefield. It would be Makthar, or Makthar. Oh, I forgot what it's called for the Orcish battles, and we're going to get this loose.
zone during this time will become a target. During the event, killing other players will allow you to earn a currency, which can be traded for various rewards. We'll talk about the rewards in a little bit. You can still group up, but be warned, the Blood Moon does not smile to those that battle in raid groups and will punish you for doing so.
Raid groups, though,
There are
not
those, of
parties.
course,
There's
who
gonna be
refuse to
5.
give in the thirst of the blood. If it's peace what you seek, you can opt out of the event at any time by talking to the Sandalari emissary. You will not be able to earn any rewards if you opt out, and remember that General Realm PvP zone rules will still apply. Another big difference from Ashenvale is that there won't be any PvE objectives. That said, not only should you be wary of both enemies and allies alike, you should also keep an eye out for the Chosen of the Blood Loa, who will absolutely destroy you. Does Fell River ring a
Okay,
bell?
so it's not an ability.
So-
I thought it was an ability that they were going to be giving out to a random player, and the random player was going to be the Chosen of the Blood Loa. It turns out this is going to be an actual NPC who is going to be murdering with us. So that's going to be
You
great.
might be wondering, how do I get my hands on that sweet rewards? There will be a merchant outside of Gurabashi Arena that would assist you with this. What about the rewards? Well, there are dozens of new class-specific item rewards. Here are some examples of the new rewards that come with the event.
Nice.
Additionally, there are new quests that will help with your Arathi Basin reputation journey.
Nice.
Do you want to see more about the cool rewards? What about a new car? Well, okay, not exactly a car, but yes, you're seeing correctly. There will be 2 new faction-agnostic mounts that you will be able to acquire related to this event.
This hurts my neck
These
more
level
than you
40
know, so I
mounts
have me
have an
looking back and
appearance
forth.
that is completely new to the game.
The mounts look
I
cool.
hope to see you in the battlefield.
So, I'm not going to lie to you. The mounts look cool. The fact that I'm going to be able to get this one because I'm Alliance right now, it's pretty cool. I won't be able to get the Raptor. I don't remember what it was on the horse side. Oh, it was a wolf. It was a wolf that they got for the Ashenvale event. So that was pretty cool. And we got another saber. So that means 2 sabers. And we don't want nothing else but sabers anyway. So sabers are the shit. I mean, I'm not an alliance lover anyway. So, I mean, all I wanted was sabers. I don't give a fuck about any of the other mounts. All the other mounts suck. Sabers.
That is completely new to the game. I hope to see you in the battlefield. And up next, Josh will join us and he will talk to you about profession updates.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Josh Greenfield, Senior Game Producer on WoW Classic. Let's dive right in and talk about what we're going to be doing with Professions in Phase 2. I want to start by saying that we've been really thrilled with the reception to our Professions editions in Phase 1. It was really exciting watching people sort of discover and unlock how to create your awesome, void touch leather gloves and your extra planar spider silk boots and all those things. We're going to go ahead and expand on this quite a bit for Phase 2. There will be around 20 new recipes across all non-gathering professions. This also includes not just leatherworking, tailoring, and blacksmithing, but also alchemy, enchanting, and engineering as well. So we want to spread the love around here. We want to make sure everyone gets something really cool this time. So that's what we're going to do. Just like in Phase 1, there will be an epic quest chain to unlock this, and we won't spoil anything about that today. You're going to have to get in the game. You're going to have to kind of go through that yourself. But if you liked what we did in Phase 1, you'll probably like this too. Next, I kind of want to talk a little bit about just some of the recipes here. I'm not going to go into super great detail about what each of these are and all the stats and everything like that. As you can see, they're very powerful. But one thing I do want to kind of call.
Okay. You see this chat? Now we gotta read. Everybody stretch and get your focals on. We got loot to read. My focals got fingerprints on it. Give me a second. Not that I need these focals to read, but, we put our focals on because we're legends. Okay, and legendary people are nerds. Okay, you don't know that? You didn't know that? Well, now you do. Every single person here, and I'm sure, is a nerd. Okay, I'm a nerd. And we're legends because we're nerds. Okay, the world is turning into a world where technology is going to be fluent. Nerds are going to be on top soon. I've been telling everybody this. I come from a long line of nerds. Nothing but nerds. We're all gonna skyrocket eventually. Okay, so we have the Rad Resistant Scale Hood. This male hood for 40, which, because at that point we would be touching plate. So this is for hunters and then leather, hunters and shamans pretty much. This comes with 10 strength, 10 agility, 11 strength, 10 agility, 11 stamina, and 10 intellect. That is actually phenomenal. Okay, improves a chance to hit, so you got a 1% improve too, which is always great. Engaging the radiation mitigation protocols in this helmet causes you to immediately remove all active poison effects and gain immunity to all nature damage for 3 seconds. Powerful ability in PvP. Definitely a very good ability at PvP. Definitely really, really good. They're going to be avoiding rogues. Hunters had an issue with rogues, not no more. And then what? We have the head for cloth, which 10 stam and 11 intellect. I'm not gonna lie to you. Compared to the male helmet, that's kind of underwhelming. Should have been given a lot more intellect than that. And especially considering to the plate helmet, that's really underwhelming. They gotta give that more intellect. Increases damage and healing number of magical spells effect by up to 22 though. That is absolutely fucking phenomenal. That is probably why they didn't give him that much mana. That would be a reason why, because I could see that being a reason why. But listen, they still need mana. Okay, harness is 4%. Four mana per 5. So that's not bad. Mana per 5, 4 mana per 5 is not bad at all. Harness the latent arcane energy in the nearby air to give you a charge inspiration, reducing the mana cost of all spells by 50%, increasing damage and healing done by up to 50% for up to 12 seconds. That is phenomenal. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta piss. But that is phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal. Okay. Like I was saying before I went to go take that fat ass piss of mine. Yeah, I still feel like that's underwhelming for the intellect that they're receiving. But the reflective true silver brain cage. I like the name of that. 14 stam and 15 intellect. This is kind of dumb because it's a healer helmet. Because it doesn't have strength on it. So that's a plate healing helmet. That's definitely what that is. Okay. Increases the damage and healing done by magical spells and effects up to 21. Gain reinforced willpower, preventing silence, interrupting effects and spell pushback for 10 seconds. 10-minute cooldown. Which is not bad, but I want to see the fucking DPS gear there, bro.
Out is that you'll notice that a few of the
That's what I wanna
materials
see.
required are brand new materials to the game, and a lot of them are used across different professions. Some of these similar new materials. There's definitely going to be a trading and kind of economy aspect to these new professions recipes. And just like everything with Season of Discovery, we're most excited to see how players share resources and information to make these things. That's all we're going to say right now,
Oh,
but we think
shit,
it's
my
going to
whole
be
thing
a
just
pretty
fucked up.
fun thing to participate in the next phase. Few other things we kind of want to talk about is alchemy and enchanting in particular. When we were looking at what we wanted to do here, we could obviously add more consumables and we can add more enchants for enchanters. And to a degree, we did. There are new enchanting material recipes other than what you see here. But one of the things about these professions is that in a lot of cases they don't do a whole lot for your personal throughput if you're one of these professions. A lot of times you can make things, and a lot of times you can make
The enchanted sigil innovation. Gain an enchanted sigil of innovation, empowering you to deal up to 20 increased damage and healing with spells, and increase the attack power by 20%. Wow, about 6% by 30 for 30 minutes. This is only applied outside of combat. That's nice, and that's soulbound. Damn, son. So only enchanters are getting that. That's crazy. Only enchanters. And recipe mildly irradiated whatever rejuvenation potion. Blah, 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 blah. I can't. Apparently these bifocals are fucking up my brain now. The radiation coming from the ring lights, and I don't know. I'm coming up with some shit. This is all excuses. Restores 260, and then look like my camera's bugging out. Obviously, the Matrix ain't helping out with me. I blame the Matrix, like Andrew Tate. Restore 262 to 438 mana, and 340 to 46 health, and also increase the attack power of 40, but the damage done to many spells, but 35 for 15 seconds. So it's like a quick ass burst damage boost.
a lot of
Exactly
gold
what that
off of
is.
having these professions, but in terms of your actual like damage output or healing output, they don't really bring anything that you can't have someone else craft for you and bring. So that's what we wanted to try here. In particular, if you'll notice on the left side, there's this new enchanted sigil innovation. And what this basically is that this is kind of like a world buff that you can carry around in your bag and give to yourself. And essentially, it has a 30-minute duration, but also a 30-minute cooldown. So if you die early,
OP
you
as
will
hell.
lose this for at least some period of time before you can put it back on. Same thing with Alchemist here. They have the ability to make this essentially damage and healing consumable, or damage and attack power consumable, and that also restores a little bit of health and a little bit of mana. So that's just something that's a little unique for them this time, and we hope that you like these things. We're looking for feedback on this sort of stuff for future phases.
Where's our sharpening stones?
So now that we've kind of gone through an overview, phase 2
I'm about to get
and
rid of
some
my
of the things that are
blacksmithing.
coming in it, we do want to kind of, I guess, hit a few of like the frequently asked questions that we've gotten recently
Get rid of
about
blacksmithing.
things in phase 1.
I might get rid of blacksmithing and just go straight fucking I mean not blacksmithing, mining. I might get rid of my mining and go straight blacksmithing and enchanting, because that buff is way too OP. That shit is just way OP. That shit is crazy OP. That's crazy OP.
And some of the issues that have popped up and how we're addressing those, as well as just some curiosities about what else is coming in phase 2 and how specific things will work. So we're going to dive into a few of these kind of FAQ items and try and burn through as many of them as possible to give you a better idea of kind of what's going on and what our thought process on some of this stuff is. So let's just go ahead and hop right in. We will start today talking about raid schedule. We thought we'd start here because this is a pretty hot debate in the community right now.
It
We've
is.
seen a lot of great feedback on this, and
I
we've
hope
waited
so.
great many perspectives
I hope so.
about kind of when we should release the raid. Should we have it available from day one, or should we
Yes.
wait maybe a week or some other amount of time to
I don't
unlock it
know.
globally
I don't
at the
care
same
about the
time?
time you're gonna
While
wait.
it's impossible, we feel, to do something that will make every single person happy, we do think we can strike a bit of a compromise here. We understand that the server or world first race is not just about who can zone in first.
Obviously.
If the raid unlocks at an arbitrary global time, and for a large group of players, it's also about who can get in the fastest after leveling, and it's very exciting for them to see what they can do when they're under geared or maybe without their full toolkit of runes and other like pre-raid items. And so, that is one argument we've heard in favor of not delaying it, and we think it's a very compelling one. It is very exciting to participate in that and to watch that. On the other hand, though, if you're one of those players, the many players who really like to take their time leveling, we realize that 3-day lockout puts you in a position where you may miss several lockouts before you hit 40. And while it's pretty unlikely to actually matter all that much in the long run, as you will have plenty of lockouts this phase, it does still feel kind of bad. And one of the things we wanted to avoid with this season was too much feeling of FOMO. So by way of a compromise, what we're looking at doing this time is we will not delay the opening of the raid, but we will be putting the first 2 lockouts on kind of a normal weekly lockout timer. So that means that would reset on like Tuesday in North America, Wednesday in Europe, and so on and so forth, whatever your regional unlock time or reset time is. This means that the first lockout will occur on February 13th, again in North America, in the morning with maintenance, and then the second will occur the following Tuesday on February 20th, again in North America in the morning with maintenance. So each region you can offset for your regional maintenance time. What this allows us to do is, if enable folks who really want to push day one to get in as fast as possible and get that first like world first or server first clear, or just the bragging rights of saying you did it first.
Yeah.
That's something that we don't want to take away from
Obviously.
you. But this also reduces the number of lockouts that are possible in that time period, so that players who are leveling a little bit more casually,
Y'all just missed 2 lockouts now.
may not feel like they missed out on as much. It's not.
Listen, now they're just gonna miss 2 lockouts instead of 4 lockouts. Maybe 5, maybe 6. If you're that good, you'll raid like maybe 6 times if you get the chance. I doubt you get the chance like that, but but like 4 to 6 times to 2 times.
Not a perfect solution, and that's one thing
No.
we really want to stress, is that when you deal with a game like World of Warcraft and on this scale, there's no objectively correct answers. There are every decision we make, there's going to be people who like it and there's going to be people who would prefer something else. But we feel that this acknowledges both major perspectives without really depriving either group of something special. So we really hope that you like it, and we're going to keep looking at feedback on this. If this is something that works out well, we may carry this forward into future phases, and if not, we may just go back to the drawing board and try something else. But we really, really, really appreciate the ton of feedback we've gotten from the community on this. We've been watching social media, we've been watching forums, we've really been watching a lot of the commentary on this, and we couldn't have nothing we do without looking at and listening to what you guys are saying. So thank you so much for that. Next thing we want to talk about a little bit,
which is 100% true. I'm not gonna lie to you, they have been listening a lot during this period of time. Impressive indeed.
It is PvP matchmaking. We realize that it can be frustrating to get matched against a full pre-made when queuing solo. However, we do still have significant concerns about completely bifurcating PvP queues into a separate PvP or small group queue. What this means essentially is if you're in a group of 5 or less, you'll have a dramatically higher chance to also get matched against groups of 5 or less. And if you're in a group of 6 or more, same deal, you'll have a higher chance to get matched against larger groups or full groups. If the queues are long or the matchmaker can't find a good group that fits within these parameters,
if you're in a group, you're in a group, dude. That's
it'll abandon these rules and go ahead and match you with the first available, so you can at least play a game.
You gotta
but
shove.
By and large,
you gotta shove solos with solos. Do that. If you could just add one more prerequisite into your equation, I think it would be perfect. Like, legitly, I think it would be perfect. All they have to do is just let solos be with solos. If you're in a group of 2 or more, but 2 or more, but 5 or less, then you go into that second category, the category he just mentioned. And if you're in a group of 5 or more, then you go into the next category. You get what I mean? Have those 3 categories instead of these 2 categories, because the solo players now are forced to get stuck with most likely groups, even if it is just a party group. That's 5 organized fucks versus 10 unorganized fucks. Like, that just doesn't help. It really shouldn't. Like, I think the free-for-all one is going to be much more beneficial because of everybody being organized for themselves. And I still think it's going to be an issue with the Zerking, with more than one person, grouping up and being in a party and doing, jumping people and stuff like that. I think that's going to be an issue. They only specify how raid groups will be punished. They don't specify parties are going to be punished. So that's actually, unfortunately, kind of scary. And a downfall, I personally think. I don't think that's a good thing. But yeah, so they don't tell us nothing about that. We have no clue. Yeah. Like, I don't think it's a good idea for them to do this. I think they should add one more bracket.
We feel that this will help the situation a lot for those who just kind of want to queue up solo or just with a few friends and not feel like they're always going against a pre-made. We do want to stress again, though, that we firmly believe that activities like PvP Battlegrounds are just more fun and less stressful when players group up and coordinate. We can understand that if you just want a PvP and you don't want to join a group for it, it can be a little bit more frustrating than you feel it needs to be. But ultimately, coordination within your team, whether it's a pre-made or not, is going to be the key to success in any activity like organized PvP when you're playing against other players. Even when queuing solo, we encourage you to be as positive.
Let me ask you a question, though. Do we have to communicate? Listen. Okay. I never fully played Classic like everybody else, so I can't speak from a point of view from everybody who plays Classic and loves Classic, but I can speak from BC, which is pretty much damn near Classic without the rating, all the rating changes they made and stuff like that, and the class changes, the balances. So I'm not even speaking on rating or balancing at the moment, so it doesn't even make a damn difference. As much as I communicated in World of Warcraft chatting with multiple people I see in a boat, people I see questing, people I see who needs help, this, that, bada boom, bada bing. Never did I sit there and go, I'm going to talk to these fucking assholes in PvP and tell them the strat, because it is that out of fucking the way that the strat is just unseeable. Everybody should know the strat. You grab the flag, protect the guy with the flag. Oh shit, we lost the flag? Split up. Look at your map, how many people are where? Make a decision, go somewhere. We don't have to discuss this. It's all should be bled into your blood at this point. The game is over 20 years old. Well, it is 20 years old.
Positive team members and coordinate with your groups to have the best time possible. So next, another common question is that
this might just be my own opinion, though, because people might like chatting inside of PvPs and talking shit, but every single time I see people chatting inside of a PvP is either wasting time because you're not PvPing, or you're sitting there complaining about some shit because somebody else can't PvP, which is also wasting our time because you're not PvP and you're complaining. And the people who can type while they can PvP, I give you props, but I have yet to see one PvP while typing at the same goddamn time. They always sit there and type while in the graveyard, and I've seen multiple motherfuckers hit the fucking cancel button just to fucking type their opinion. Fuck them.
The leveling buff will look like. We mentioned this at BlizzCon, that whenever the level cap increases, we will put in a level an XP buff for the previous level band. And so what you can expect
1 to 25 is
for
gonna get a
that.
level buff.
Also, we've gotten a lot of questions about what you can expect if you say you've done all the quests available to you at level 25, and what do you do for leveling it, from like 25 to 30 if you've done all those quests. So for the first question, we'll be providing a flat 50% XP buff from the 1 through 25 range, so that if you do start a new character or a new alt, or if you have a friend that's joining in phase 2, you should be able to get caught up to level 25 fairly quickly.
That's for Larry
with
if he
that
does
buff.
join. Larry can join
The other
up.
thing that we're
level
doing
up
in
fast as
order to
fuck.
help the second situation where you may feel like you've done all the quests you can and you're not sure how best to level,
I might be
we are going to
virgin.
make
No,
the
I think I'm
Black Fathom
close.
Deep's raid give a very significant amount of experience when cleared in phase 2 when you're over level 25. It's keeping the lockout it has now, a 3-day lockout, to encourage players not to just do it every single day and engage in other activities, but it will be very lucrative and worth doing as long as it continues to give experience, which will probably be sometime into the mid or late 30s.
Yeah.
Lastly, Waylaid Supplies are also seeing some adjustments.
That's actually pretty
We're
cool.
not quite ready to
I'm not
talk
gonna lie to
about
you.
the full
I'm not
suite
gonna.
of adjustments.
Hold on. No. Did they expose the best way to level is going to be through raids, guys? The best way to level. The best way to level, guys. It's gonna be the true raids. Okay, like you can like at least through like probably what? Okay, so the bosses in there I think are like level 27. You'll still receive EXP for them, but not beneficial EXP until like you remember 10 level EXP, so they don't know green. I think it's 10 levels, right? No, that might be retail. I think it's 5. Well, either way, they said into the 30s, mid 30s, so 35 is what I was thinking. 10 levels above. That's crazy. That's crazy because I like that raid so much, and you get to experience it a little bit before you get to go and move on to the other one, which I think is going to be phenomenal.
Adjustments coming here because some of them are still undergoing tuning, but we are going to significantly increase the XP rewards for it, particularly in the ones from the 25 to 40 range. There will be new Waylaid Supplies turn-ins, and we want to make sure that they're very rewarding and they're something that you want to do. And we're also looking at removing some of the frustrations from this. Again, not quite ready.
One frustration. You know what pisses me the fuck off? The fact that I cannot hold more than one completed fucking thing. I gotta hold all the supplies and complete it all at once. This is kind of dumb. Like man, the whole kind of system is yeah. Whatever fixes they I hope they fix it nicely. It just bothers some. That's a grind.
Ready to talk about
That's
the
just a
full
grind,
details
dude.
there, but if you've had concerns with some of the frustrating aspects of them, then we're hoping to address some of those in the next phase as well. So stay tuned to look for a little bit more a little bit more information about that, and we'll have more as we get really close to patch or the phase launch. A few minor adjustments to Ashenvale are coming. There will be fewer people in Ashenvale specifically when the level cap increases. So we're going to go ahead and move the event to a rigid 3-hour timer. Similar to what Anna talked about with the Stranglethorn Veil event. This will basically be every 3 hours on the mark. And it will happen without player intervention. Do note, though, we don't want to make you choose between doing an Ashenvale battle and a Stranglethorn Veil battle. So the Ashenvale timer will be offset by 1 hour from Stranglethorn. So if Stranglethorn starts at noon, this will start at 1 p.m. and they should never overlap.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so we're pretty excited about that.
Good.
And we hope that the Ashenvale
good.
battles.
That's a good decision they decided to do because I was going to never do Ashenvale event then.
One other thing that is kind of a common question and topic is kind of what are we going to do with the world buffs in the next phase? Simply put, we're going to go ahead and cap them. The Ashenvale Weekly Quest world buff is going to be capped at level 39, and the Black Fathom Deep's world buff is also going to be capped at 39. So you can enjoy those while you're leveling, but once you hit 40, you'll no longer basically be able to gain the benefit of those. Please also note that the Stranglethorn Veil PvP event will not actually have a world buff this time, but Gnomeregan will. Our goal is really to keep each phase's world buffs fun and exciting, but we don't want to add too much overhead to the evolving endgame. And we don't want it to be a slog to have to go all over the world to get all of these world buffs. And especially once we hit 60, we don't want you to have to slog through going all over the world and getting every world buff.
I mean, I wouldn't mind. That buff would
That's where
fucking
we landed on
stack up
that. We're
nicely.
obviously open to feedback on any of this. So please let us know what you think.
Yeah, you know what that means?
Profession
That means they want you to run back and forth, but they don't know if you want to run back and forth. So comment and subscribe on my video, and I'm going to talk to WoW personally. Comment. I'm going to leave this as a YouTube video on YouTube. My YouTube subscriber. You know, I'm YouTube Dark Reaper. I think the ad might have some numbers on it, but Dark Reaper has a Mimikyu image. That's me. I'm a little Mimikyu. I'm not really what I am. I'm a nerd on the inside. I look dope, but I am a nerd. It's all right. I say I look dope. I don't know if I look dope. You guys got to tell me that in the comments as well. So when this gets posted as a video, y'all got to let me know. Like and subscribe. Let me know. Leave your comment whether you want to run around for fucking your shit, your world buffs, or do you want them to place them in one spot? Because I think that would be the smartest thing. If they made load of world buffs like that, place them in one spot. We wouldn't have to run around everywhere. But one spot be the hot spot.
Specializations. This is another really hot topic in the community. Just like with phase 1, when we capped professions at 150, with phase 2, we will be capping them at 225. And additionally, we've decided that profession specializations will also not be available until phase 3. So that's when the level cap goes to 50. Yep. We feel that profession specializations outside of engineering and a few other exceptions are kind of lackluster at original WoW, and we really want to do something fun and cool here, and we really want to take our time to do it right. So for phase 3, profession specializations are going to have a large focus, and obviously we're not going to talk about it now, but do stay tuned for more information on profession specializations as we move closer to phase 3. Thank you.
Nice.
Another common question that we get that is somewhat frustrating to answer, simply because kind of the more we talk about it, the faster bad actors can work around our efforts, but it's botting and exploitative accounts in general. Botting is sort of a colloquial term that includes a lot of things, including just exploitative gameplay that players engage in. It has a negative impact on the game. It really does. It's something we don't like. It's something we actually hate. We spend a lot of time and a lot.
Has anybody seen that video of the Chinese botting saw company that had over like 1,500 computers all botting in WoW at the same time, all throughout mini monitors, and it's a little frame of them going through all of the screens that these motherfuckers are actually using? Has anybody actually seen that shit? That shit is absolutely nuts, bro. Okay, like to the point where it's like, wow, I never imagined this is how many people bot. I never imagined that this is how many people are just sitting, writing scripts and letting scripts run so they can make money. I just never imagined that this system in this business was this big. This was incredible. They need to cut that shit. I don't know how you guys are going to catch it. I mean, there's obvious ways you can, but then at the same time, with those obvious ways, players do those obvious things all the time. It's to the point where the world right now thinks everybody's a fucking bot. Why does everybody think they're a bot? Because everybody's in their own fucking world. It's so deep. It's just everybody's in their own world doing their own thing, and people perceive what they want to perceive. So if you perceive the world as being bots, you perceive the world as being bots. But at the same time, everybody's just in their own zone. Nobody is focused on you. Nobody is focused on what you're doing. Everybody's just in their own zone. You get what I mean? But yeah, they really do need to get rid of this botting issue. 100% they do.
A lot of effort trying to combat. And while we can't really talk about the specifics of what we're doing, we do want to talk about some really exciting new tech that's coming with phase 2. We've had this in limited testing on live, both in classic of its various flavors and modern for quite some time. And we've seen some very positive results from it. And so we want to set expectations that there's never going to be a time where World of Warcraft or really any online game is going to be completely free of bad actors and malicious accounts. But we're very positive about the results we've seen from this new tech, and we're really excited to see it rolled out. Paradoxically as well, kind of the more effective we are at some of these things, the more outwardly visible the bad actors can become. A lot of times following many of our ban waves, you may actually see increased bot activity as bot farms essentially spin up new accounts and start over. But there's been a few instances of this happening. We do a large ban wave, and then everyone, I see videos posted online of streams of bots going from one part of the world to the other. But when you see that
Bruh.
stuff and when you report it, it actually helps us clamp down on that new method as well. And it gets the bot farms into a position where they are constantly kind of 2 steps forward and like 2 steps backwards. So
You're
that
pretty
is really
much
helpful.
what we're doing, and what he's trying to avoid saying is, the more that they do these bot waves, right? Think about this for a second, okay? The more that they do these bot waves, right? I need everybody to actually think about this for a second, because it sucks what we're actually doing. What's actually happening, and what he's not explaining, sucks. Every single time they do one of these ban waves, they essentially get rid of all the old accounts. So they're not banning IPs. They're not banning, and even if they were, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of ways around that. Let's be realistic. So let's say they are, right? Who cares? Well, anyways, they ban the accounts. They get rid of the accounts. Now these bots have to make brand new accounts, which is just $15 more a month. So like, let's say their account was not even about to be paid, or they paid a year their account just to avoid having to pay the account because they know they're going to make money from it. They now lost that account and now have to do it again and pay Blizzard again. And then Blizzard is like, okay, cool. We're not going to do nothing until you guys say something. That helps us notice who these banned accounts are and who these bots were. So that way we can ban them again and they can do it again and essentially provide us with another source of income. They're getting rich off of us reporting bots, dude. I would stop reporting. I'm not gonna. This is one of the reasons why I never reported, because if you think about the concept, they're getting money off of us reporting. They're not helping the game because there's preventive measures I'm sure they can add to stop this botting. I'm sure that they can, dude. Hire, dude. Where's like what happened to people? Dude, like I have many ideas, but like this one's probably extremely expensive and probably they won't do it because of the man hours and people they have to put into it. But literally hire people, pay them fucking $5 an hour. I know it's way on the minimum wage. I'm just over exaggerating. $10 an hour. You ain't gonna pay them a lot to get in World of Warcraft and communicate with players. If a player fucking answers you or acts like a real player, cool. If a player just is walking back and forth and getting stuck on rocks and acting like a bot, and you could tell it's a bot, they should really just be like, okay, cool, now we know. But that's the same time, it's still the same shit because they're gonna make another account. I don't know. There's no way to avoid this. Life goes on. You just keep paying Blizzard and report them, I guess. I apologize for telling everybody don't report. I was full of shit. Report these motherfuckers. Report them. Report the hell out these bots. I can't stand them too. I'm gonna start reporting them. I just don't know whether I should report them because I'm just helping Blizzard out. And Blizzard needs to fix Overwatch and fix fix retail. And I mean, Classic's cool, so they did cool with Classic. But then they did Wrath, and now they're doing Classic Kata, which is a curse. A curse on every human being. It's a scourge. Okay, it's an absolute fucking abomination of a fucking expansion. So like, am I alone on this one? I guess I might be. Who cares?
And as much as it's frustrating to see, we really
I might be
just
crazy.
to continue to help us by reporting things, and we're going to continue to do exhaustive work on our side for this issue. Always a frustrating thing, never easy to talk about, but we really appreciate your patience with us. So the last topic that we really want to talk about, and this is kind of a big one, is just jumping right into it, starting with phase 2 of Season of Discovery. We're going to be experimenting with a new policy change. GDKP will no longer be permitted in Season of Discovery realms. And to kind of recap, for anyone who does not know what GDKP or gold bid raids or dungeons are, it's essentially a raid or a dungeon run where the loot rules is that all loot that is distributed is essentially purchased with gold. So items, an item will drop. It's then put up for bid by the loot master or whoever's doing the loot. And interested
Yeah.
parties then bid gold for the item. When the highest bid wins,
Yeah.
and when the gold is received, it's split within the participants of the raid. This is something we've been discussing for a very long time on WoW Classic, and it's not a decision we've arrived at lightly. It's fair to say that GDKP has some benefits to individuals who don't want to be tied to a traditional guild or set raid schedule, and GDKPs are, while largely transactional, another social activity in the game, and we're always hesitant to discourage anything that gets people in groups and playing together. However, we do remain concerned that GDKP erodes traditional guild and social structures that are in many cases the basis of our most fond memories of original World of Warcraft. And it's undeniable that GDKP contributes to and drives a lot of malicious accounts, illicit activity, RMT, botting, all of the things we just talked about. Season of Discovery is highly experimental in its nature, and we take chances, and this is another chance we're taking. We want to give an honest try to a version of World of Warcraft without GDKP present, and this is our best opportunity for that. So as of the launch of Phase 2 on February 8th, GDKP will no longer be permitted in Season of Discovery.
Nice.
We're going to release additional
You got my approval. Fuck yeah.
communications with another FAQ to kind of go with this FAQ, talking about this. And once we do, we'll have that posted on forums and stuff. We'd really like to hear what you think, and we're going to really monitor feedback closely on this. This is a test, and ultimately this decision came as a result of your feedback. And so we want to hear more of what you think of
told
this.
you,
We want to hear how
I
it
called
goes as we
Blizzard.
move through this next phase. And if it doesn't work out, we'll revisit this policy for future phases. We really appreciate everyone who has expressed that feedback and concerns on this topic. Thank you. So with that, I think we're done with today's presentation. Thank you so much. Heartfelt thanks from the WoW Classic development team. We've been just actually blown away by the reception to Season of Discovery. We are thrilled that so many of you have been enjoying it as much as we are, and we can't wait to see you in Phase 2. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Be good to each other. Goodbye.
Hell yeah. That was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. Yeah, man, the raid is gonna be great. The PvP is also gonna be great. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be absolutely fucking great.